Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am finally here to close out my budget for the month of March. I have already laid down my budget expense stickers in my monthly view for the last week, which only happened to have 3 days, and there were no spend days on those 3 days. So I kind of already wanted to go ahead and do that because this is typically the video that takes me the longest to film, and I kind of just wanted to go ahead and get to the point to this video and just add up everything, crunch numbers, and kind of just close out this budget for this month because it's already a few days past the month of April, and I just want this to be closed out and have all the numbers for like my savings and everything in order. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I am first going to write out my categories that I'm going to be weekly checking in. So my cash envelopes, which I have all of them right here if you guys were wondering. I have them all here and ready to count. So categories that I weekly check in for are my cash envelopes, so groceries, household, eating out, allowance, beauty, gas, and unbudgeted. And like I mentioned, this is the 5th week for me, which is from the 29th until the 31st. And I'm going to make, of course, dashes here on the rollover section, because I only roll over on the first week, which if you guys are interested in seeing how I go about this column of my weekly check-in, definitely stay tuned for what I'm thinking will be tomorrow's video, which is going to be my week 1 check-in for the month of April. And now let's go ahead and go through what I've spent as I drop my cash envelope. I also have my little key here to let me know what each color means. So for groceries, I spent a total of $23.95 for Costco. $3.95 were from the Costco shop card, and then $20 was just cash. The rest Paul took care of. And then at Target, I spent $65 for groceries. So in total, I spent $88 with 95 cents for groceries this week. And last week I had $122.95, which means that I am actually ending with $34 for the end of March, which is really, really good. I've been trying, as you guys know, to lower my grocery spending, and I'm going to try to do this for a few months just because I want to bring down the budget amount for that, which I'll show you guys in a sec. But $34 was really good to be under for groceries. Then for household, which is my clay sticker here, I spent $16. So I did go ahead and get some household items from Target as well, but I just go ahead and separate them. I think I got like wipes and maybe an OxiClean spray, I want to say. So $16 spent for household, and last week I had $25, so remaining I have $9, and I do have the cashier, by the way, so I can go ahead and count. So this is my groceries cash envelope, which I have 20, 30, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So $34 left, which I typically don't roll over money for groceries, but I don't know, I might end up doing it. I'm not 100% sure. Now for household, I have $9 left. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, like so, which for the most part I do roll over money for every other cash envelope aside groceries, but I'm thinking that I might end up doing so because I ended up buying some things in the very beginning of April that I wanted to buy with my March groceries cash envelope. It just didn't end up happening because I was really busy in the first couple of days. So I'm thinking I might end up rolling over that money. I'm not 100% sure, but that is what I have for household. I know I didn't spend anything for eating out because I was actually at $0. And I think Paul might have just paid for the last eating out, which was I think Waba Grill on that Monday. So eating out has $0, as you guys probably saw last week. I'm not sure if I showed you guys the cash the week prior. But now for allowance, I didn't have any expenses. Those would be in the fog color, so I'm going to put 0 for spent as well. And remaining, I have $46, which all of these $46 will be going towards my sinking fund allowance cash envelope, which I like to keep aside just to save any extra money that I don't end up using within a month. So that would be really nice to put in there. Now for beauty, I did make an expense, and I think, yeah, this is my last expense that I'll weekly check in for, and it was from this store called Revanly. Since I had some money left over, and I mentioned this in my last weekly check-in, that I wanted to get something with my beauty cash envelope, and that was a sort of like makeup drying brush rack type of deal. And you guys are probably gonna be like, what are you talking about? And I might end up showing it on my weekend vlog, but what it is basically just a drying rack for your makeup brushes and like beauty sponges and all of that. And so I wanted to get that just because I had extra money in my beauty cash envelope. Since then, I have decreased my beauty cash envelope by I think like $25, I want to say, just because I was ending with quite a bit of money at the end of the month. As you guys can see, if I wouldn't have bought that, I would have had $70. So I'm glad that I had that extra cash in that cash envelope in order to buy something that I normally wouldn't buy for myself. So that was $54, and remaining I had 16. So here I have 10, 5, and 16. I also have my allowance one right here, which has 46. So we have 20, 30, 40, 5, and 6. So these I'm actually going to go ahead and put in my allowance cash envelope, which I will just quickly add right here in my sinking funds. So in the plus section, I'll go ahead and put $46. Like so. There you go. I don't typically do that ahead of time, but since I just counted that and put that in the cash envelope, I thought that I would. And then for gas, I don't have anything. I just said that that was my last expense for the week. So 0 still for gas. And then for unbudgeted, there were no red stickers. So that means that I'm just still over by the $100 that I had to spend for part of a new bed frame. And that is going to be the end of the weekly check-in part of this video. Before I go ahead and input these numbers in my monthly budget spread, I'm going to go ahead and bring you guys back to my sinking funds, so then that way I can close out these funds. The only transaction that I had the last week of March was for adventures on the 31st for $58, and this was for an extra payment of my Palm Springs trip that I'm going to be going on at the end of April. And the reason I had to make an extra payment was because our first Airbnb got canceled, and since then a couple of the girls I think just couldn't make it anymore to the new date, and so we had to pay for the girls that couldn't go. So I just had to give $58 on top of everything else. So I'm going to take a picture. I always do this just so that I'm not flipping back and forth, and that way I can go ahead and add everything and have accurate numbers here. So I'm going to add up all of the transactions for adventures. So in total I spent $425 from my adventures sinking fund, which gives me $32 as my ending number, which is crazy, but as you guys know, I'm going on 2 trips in the month of April, so it totally makes sense that I spend that much money for adventures. I don't typically, you know, go on trips like this, but since it is spring and summer is coming, I thought that I would just go on a couple of trips with my friends. The good thing is that I've had some of this money saved for adventures, as well as I keep adding onto this category because it is kind of one that I want to prioritize. There was only one transaction for $39 coming out of allowance. And so 9 plus the 46 means that I now have $55. That's my ending. Next for Amazon Prime, 0, so that means that I have 60. Card maintenance, I did not have any card maintenance done this month, so 0 here. So this is 145. This does not have anything. It did not get used this month, so ending is 373. Card tags, nothing for card tags as well. Or I can go ahead and just put a 0 for Christmas. I think that's pretty much it. So for card tags, I am ending with $74. And for Christmas, I am ending with $391 with 50 cents. For clothing, I believe I think I might have used all of my clothing sinking fund this month, so $75, which means that I now have 0 left. Nothing for Costco, so 15 left. For date night, I did go ahead and use, let's see, $46 and 21 is 67. So ending will be $20 for date night. For electricity, I did have a payment of $157. So ending would be $286. For entertainment, I had, let's see. I only had one expense for a touch of Disney, which was $43. So ending I have 47. For gifts, I spent 107 plus 60 and 25. So in total I spent 192 this month. Ending would be $51. I had 2 transactions for medical for 25 and 13. So those were $38. Ending is $237. Miscellaneous, let's see. 1 for 59 and 1 for 9. I think that is it, yeah. So 68 spent. So 16 remaining. $16, and then nothing went out of my Peru trip fund. So this still has $1,200. All right, so those are all of the numbers. Now I'm quickly going to go ahead and add everything up. So in total, my beginning was $3,261 with 50 cents. I added $845. I spent $1,104. And I am ending with $3,002 with 50 cents. I'm hoping that I did that math right because that was quite a bit of numbers. I'm actually gonna go ahead and check. Yes, so everything there adds up, and these numbers should match up to my beginning in the month of April. But now that this is all closed out and finished, which makes me really happy, I can go ahead and move on to my budget spread. Now before I go, I do want to mention, I think I might have mentioned this in last weekly check-ins video, but this is what I've spent for shipping for this month. These were my business expenses. I have not had any more since the 22nd here, and these were my variable sources of income for this month. So YouTube, Patreon, share sale, and Amazon affiliate links. I'm not going to be putting my shop Romina Rosa here this month just because I actually didn't make an extra debt payment, and I'm going to go ahead and make a get ready with me video giving you guys kind of like a debt snowball update. So make sure you stay tuned, as well as if you have any questions that you want me to answer, I'll go ahead and answer them on there as well. But now that we are done with everything, I'm going to just leave you guys zoomed in here and go through all of my actuals for my variable expenses. And I have now made the decision that I am not going to be rolling over the extra money for groceries. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it as it is, especially to cover something else that I did go over budget for, which was Easter, and you guys will see in a second. So for groceries, I spent a total of $226. So that was my actual, which means that I was under budget, or that my variance is 34. Right here. Once again, I think I did really good this month, and I'm only hoping that next month is even better. We will go ahead and see though. For household, all the way until beauty, although I did spend all the money for gas as well, I'm going to go ahead and put the same number that I budgeted for as well as the actuals, just because I will be using the leftover money that I have here and just go ahead and roll it over to the next month. Once again, I'll show that in my April week 1 check-in. So I'm going to put $100 here, which means that there's no variance. For eating out, I actually did use all $115, so this wouldn't really matter, but allowance, I'm rolling over the extra money to the sinking fund cash envelope, so no variance there. As well as with beauty, $225 is my actual. I did use all the $50 for gas. And now for phone bill, I'm going to go ahead and check my monthly spread. And I have that right here. So for phone bill, I actually ended up paying $101.81. So the actual is $101.81, which means that my variance is $819. For internet, I believe I paid $69.99. So 0.01 is my variance. For Easter, I have a few expenses here that I'm going to now check off. And those were $33 on the 8th, $16 on the 15th, and $20 on the 31st. So categories that are not my cash envelopes, but that I do still budget for in my monthly budget spread, will have the other little budget expense sticker color here. That's kind of how I go ahead and go about these. But I do, as you guys can see, check these off at the end of the month once I close out my monthly budget. So in total, I spent $69, and I had only budgeted $60, so that means that I am actually over budget by $9, which is not too crazy, it's not too bad, but it's definitely more than I budgeted for. And I think it was just because I saw the new like magnetic lashes, and I got a little carried away with that. And Paul did pay for some of our trip. I think we went to Walgreens and to the liquor store, but I was over budget for this category this month by $9. Then for my Weight Watchers membership for the app, I actually didn't have to pay anything for this, and I won't have to pay. I'm actually canceling this just because I did get a membership for the month of April. Now the only thing is that they will charge me, I think, once more in the month of July, just because I did have credits from you guys joining Weight Watchers. So my last month with Weight Watchers will be July. I'm still going to be tracking like my weight and possibly my food intake on there just to take advantage of the app and the resources, but I am going to go ahead and cancel it whenever it is that I can. So I am under budget by $14. And then last but not least, for unbudgeted, as you guys know, I have one expense here of $100. So I'm going to put, of course, that my variance is -100. So over budget by $100, which if that wasn't there, I think it would have been pretty great, especially because I had some money left over from groceries. But since that is there, I am all in all over budget. So now let me go ahead and add up all of my actual numbers, which total for that is 1,100, which is actually not that bad. Considering the fact that I was already thinking that I was going to be over budget by $100, and I'm just happy that I was able to reduce my grocery spending. Now, like I mentioned, we will go ahead and see for the month of April, but I am trying to bring this number down to around $225. I think I decreased my groceries amount in the month of April to $250, and I think I'm going to decrease it by $10 every single month as we go along, but we will go ahead and see once again. Now, last but not least, I am going to go ahead and put 0 for the extra debt payment. I kind of just want to white it out, honestly, because I didn't end up making an extra debt payment towards my student loan debt. I did go ahead and pay the minimum payment that I don't necessarily have to pay for, but I did want to go ahead and, you know, not stop with that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and white it out as if it was never there. And I'm going to now total up my fixed expenses here, which equals to $2,445 with 65. I'm so used to seeing this number around like the $3,000 mark, but like I mentioned, I wasn't able to make an extra debt payment for honestly various reasons. So definitely stay tuned to my get ready with me video, because I will definitely go more into detail as to what is going on. But I'm going to go ahead, or I am just now writing out my budgeted and actual numbers for my variable and fixed expenses. The budgeted and actual for fixed is going to be the same because those do not change. So now what I would do, or what I will be doing once the camera is turned off, is I'll go ahead and input my expected and actual income here. Once I go ahead and of course subtract all of my business expenses, shipping from my variable sources of income here, as well as I do like to take out taxes for, you know, whenever I have to pay for those. So once all of that comes out of this income, I'll go ahead and bring it to the actual. I do have an expected already from the beginning of the month, so I'll go ahead and put both of those down, put my variances, and then add them to this total section, which I will then subtract all of my expenses from my income. And whatever money I have left over, what I'm doing now is putting it towards my emergency fund. I'm really trying to build my 3 to 6 month emergency fund. You know, we're slowly getting there, but that's kind of my priority for this year. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate all of you guys for being on here every single week to watch my weekly check-in videos or to watch my budget spreads and all of that. So thank you so much for being on here. If you enjoyed this video, as always, please do not forget to give it a huge thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel, share this video with a friend who you would think would enjoy it, and hopefully I will get to see you guys on the next one. Bye guys! Doctor